everyone. Yes, Hangout is live. We're here. Say hi, Bella. I'm jumping on now. We're actually about 10 minutes early for the book club, but I thought that being that it's our first time, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go over the housekeeping. So if anybody ends up watching this later, because it will go in my whole YouTube area, you'll know what we're doing once a month. And this is my first time using Google Hangouts for this type of thing. So be patient. I'm waiting for, I think Heather's going to jump on. She's going to be a chatter tonight. Kathleen was going to be a chatter, but she's still on a business trip. So that's the nice thing about our chat. If you give me, this is what I'm understanding on how it works, is if you give me your email, your Gmail email, and you've done the reading for that month, I will go ahead and, Bella, I will go ahead and invite you into the chat for that night, and we'll have our chatters. That's pretty much how it will go. But if you see on the side right here, you're welcomed if you're not a chatter and you're like, well, I didn't read the whole thing or whatever, you can go ahead and comment on the side, you know, as we're talking, or leave a message. And I'm going to try to take my eyes over there right now. You can see that I posted chat here, ladies. So I can see that really clearly. But what we'll do is, let me just do a regroup. When I see Heather jump on, I'm going to go ahead and add her. Like I said, I'm new to the adding part. So grace, grace, grace. I think it'll work out. And I'm going to keep rolling with it regardless. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do exactly what I plan to do every single month. And I know, and I have faith that this will work out, and we'll grow, we'll learn, we'll work out the kinks together, and this book club will go. I've watched so many book clubs on YouTube, and I was involved with a lot, and I'm just a different type of reader. I'm happy that I found some ladies that enjoy the books that you're going through with me in 2018. And hey, as we grow as a community, we can change these books up in the years to come and add some other ones in. I'm open to anything. So anything and everything. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just give you guys to some of, like I said, the housekeeping, and we'll go from there. First thing, we're going to do our group chat the last Thursday of every single month at 8 o'clock. I'm thinking that's a good time with all time zones. 8 o'clock will work. So last Thursday of the month is when we will do our chat. Our chats are, depending on how long the book is and how many chatters we have, they could vary from being 25 minutes to a half hour to an hour. I kind of logged off an hour on my calendar to kind of get ready earlier. Around 7:30, I get my coffee, my tea, and I figure out what room I want to hang out in and hang out with you guys. So that's easy. Again, the chat's on the side for those that want to just chat on the side. They're not going to be included in the Google Hangout chat room, but you're still welcome to chat, and you're also welcome to chat after this is posted. So remember, this gets posted live on YouTube, and it'll stay up there as a published video. So you can, if you're behind on reading your book and you want to see what some of the chatters said on the reviews or whatever, or what I had to say, I will keep it up there under HB Book Club. Let's see, Facebook page. We do have a Facebook page. I know we're not so creative with the book club name. It's HB Book Club, so it's for HB Ministries. HB Ministries stands for the Holy and the Broken, because we're all broken and we're all pursuing some sort of righteousness in Christ as believers, because I believe, hoping we have a like-minded community. So that's what that's what HB Ministry stands for, Holy and Broken. And so I went with the HB Book Club, and I'm hoping that a lot of our book clubs choices this year are kind of around that, whether they're a Christian book or maybe they're a self-motivating book. We can all wrap around the same idea of becoming holier and becoming more faith-based and really just branching out there. So we have some books that are, you know, from Bible teachers and some that are not. So I think we can bring it all together to some sort of like-mindedness. And that's what I'm really encouraged with this community. So anyone can join at all times. I actually had a few people join today, and they're always jumping in. So I think we're up to 39 or 40 people in the actual book club on Facebook page. And mind you, not everybody's going to want to chat. Everybody's going to want to read on their own. I actually have 2 that are doing the book clubs in their own community. They're meeting up and doing a sidebar. I was really inspired by that. So on my Facebook page, you will see that anybody that's local to me, I'm looking at actually having a meetup time once a month for our book club. And so that you'd have to be local to do that. So I'll do online, and then I will also do a local meetup, because I think that's kind of cool too. So that's going to happen. So check out the Facebook page. I do a lot of things on Facebook there, and I'll leave the link at the bottom of this so you can jump on that. Also, if you're wondering what books we posted, what books we're going to read for all of 2018, I have a video. I will link it also in the description after this Google Hangouts is done. I will stick it on there and you can see all the 12 books for each month. And so at the end of this chat, I will go ahead and list the book that we'll be reading for February. And so that's all I can think of on housekeeping. I'm just going to kind of ramble for a couple more minutes because like I said, I started this 10 minutes earlier to just get adjusted to do a lot of the housekeeping. And I'm thinking if Heather jumps on, we will just jump right in it. If not, I will stay timely and I will go with the book review at 8 o'clock. So that is it. Now, you know what I'll do is I'll give you an illustration of what the chat's going to look like. What are we going to do in the group chat once a month? We're going to start with an icebreaker. I'll come up with an icebreaker. Each chatter will have their opportunity to answer the icebreaker question. Then we will rate the book for that month on a ratings of 1 through 7, 7 being one of the perfectionist number. The 7 is the number of perfection in the Bible. So I figured, hey, if it's a perfect book, we'll rate it a 7. So we're going to go around with our chatters. Everybody's going to have a chance to rate the book. And why did you rate the book? Why'd you give that book the rating? And we'll listen to everybody. You can also go ahead, because I'm going to be looking at your ladies' chats on the side afterwards. Tell me what you rated the book and why. And we'll just chat about that for a little bit. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and go with the discussion questions. Now, in today's book, we actually had some review questions at the end. And in my journal, my monthly journal that I have here, I actually ordered some inserts from Yellow Paper House, and they have their inserts just on book reviews, so I can rate them myself, jot down what I felt about the book, and keep a log with my own personal reading account. I love the accountability. I really wanted to read more this year, and I figured if I was accountable to some friends and we had each other, that I would make sure I'm doing my reading, and it really helped. It really helped, even with the few that I chatted with on this. It helped me a lot. So that's why I'm hoping that I can even be accountable to the ladies in my area. So if you're watching this and you're just watching it because you're part of my YouTube channel, because you do Bible studies with me on my YouTube, and you want to start this, then hey, I'm looking for more people to jump in. So we have 2 viewers on, and I don't know, Heather, if you're one of them. If you are, can you go ahead on the group chat and put your name that you're here? Because like I said, we're new. This is all new. Go ahead and post your name on the side who the 2 viewers are, if that helps. I'll know if you're in the book club. But I just got done, and I explained how the whole book club's going to run. That's what I did. I jumped on 10 minutes earlier and explained all that. So when this video plays back, you can go ahead and listen to how we're going to run everything, what the housekeeping is. So again, we're meeting the last Thursday of every single month, and we are going to discuss each book for the year. Again, if you want to listen to the video that has all, I am sorry, I have all my chihuahuas in here. Time out. Hey guys, you gotta be nice. Anyway, we will be discussing those books the last Thursday of the month, and all of those books are located in the YouTube video that I'm going to leave below here. So if you're new and you're like, what books are we reading? I'm going to leave those for you. At the end of this video, I will tell you the one that we're going to be reading for February. And then again, listen to the beginning of this broadcast, and I'm going to tell you how you can become a chatter. I think a lot of people are afraid of getting on here and chatting because they don't know how to do Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is actually pretty darn cool. So I think we're gonna like it. If you're not afraid of technology and you're not afraid of the social aspect of it, I think it'll be easy. Getting in a chat room will be very, very easy. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and let's finish, jump right into this. I don't see Heather on here, and that's okay. If I missed adding her somehow, and I do not see, so give me a minute, guys. I'm going to see. No. I'm going to, no, 1 second. Okay. We are going to keep going. All looking good. Okay. I'm going to keep going with this just as we planned. And if somebody jumps on, because again, this is so new, trust me, learning how to do this was kind of hard for me. So if you're watching this after and thinking, I do this all the time, hit me up. Tell me if I'm doing something that could be done a little bit better, or if you've done Google Chats. Now, Google Chats, I know, is not a personal app anymore in our toolbar. You have to actually jump onto YouTube in order to get into Google Hangouts. So that's the only downfall about it. So if you don't have a YouTube channel and you don't have all that, you can, I'll invite you in and you'll end up on Google Hangouts that way. So very simple. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump in to Dream Big, Think Small. And the thing that really got me was the cover. I loved that. Me being a big dreamer, I love to dream big. I love to have visions. I love the idea that this was written so small and the think small was written so big. That to me was super cool. I'm like, okay, that, because sometimes I focus way too much on dreaming big, and you know, my posts are all about dreaming big, but how are we thinking small on a daily basis? And this book really challenged me to do the repetitive and do the same thing over and over. And the illustrations in here were awesome. So I will have to say my rating on this book from 1 to 7, again, I explained all that rating before in the beginning. I'm going to give this a 6. I'm not going to give it a 7. It wasn't, no, actually, I'm going to give it a 5. I'm sorry. I did write that down this morning. I'm going to give it a 5. It wasn't, I've read a lot of other books that really stirred me a lot more than this. This had more practical applications, and I liked it more for that read. It didn't have a lot of stories in it or a lot of motivational. Sometimes I like motivational stories, you know, they made me feel good and they boosted my faith that way. This had more, if I can say, it had more everyday practical applications. At the end of every single chapter, you had a review. You had a place to journal and actually make yourself applicable to what you learned. And so it was kind of, it could be done as a this could be used as a Bible study or a small group easily. I found that to be something I could do. So let me go ahead now and I'm going to go over and discuss. This will be a simple time because it's just me, but I'm staying faithful and I'm staying committed. And if you guys are on here and you do the next book with me, I'm going to be happy. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up. So if you've got your book, I'm opening up to page 210, which I liked about this book too, because it had a whole review area on what you thought about the book. And that was good. It said here, I'm just going to kind of read this. It just said, when something jumps out at you as a strong potential priority or suggestion, write it down in one of the spaces below. Attempt to reduce your list of potential next steps to a maximum of 10 options. And what I did is I used this area on page 210 and I reviewed back through the whole book on what was my favorite highlighter moments. I'm one that says highlighter moments. I have a whole thing. I have a whole thing of highlighters right here. So when I'm reading, I grab a bunch of these and I stick them right next to me and I'll highlight. So that's how I'm going to kind of do the review with you guys for this book, is what were my highlighter moments. And one of the things that I liked the most in this book was, or the visual that just stood out to me was, again, remember, dream big is written small and think small is written big. So it was kind of getting you to realize that it's every small step with consistency that matters. And I don't do that in a lot of places, especially dreaming big with my goals, my big, hairy, audacious goals. I don't do that. So I liked that challenge a lot, to slow down and think small, little bite-sized pieces. And I liked the analogy that they used on page 33 when they were talking about Mr. Rogers. So if you guys are watching this chat now or you watch it later, again, this is a new book club, so we're all new to this. Let me know if you liked the Mr. Rogers illustration. I loved it because it said he was faithful in the everyday ordinary. We always knew that he came to a door, he came through, he put on his sweater, and he kind of said the same old slogan, you know, I'm glad to be your neighbor, or it went something like that. But I remember it. He was on every single day. He did the same thing every single day. He had a gentle voice every single day, and he was consistent with every small move, and that stuck. And sometimes when you want bigger goals, you need to do that. And so that was a great illustration. Loved that part. The second thing I wrote down are, what are you deeply committed to? That was a big question in this book. What are you deeply committed to? Oftentimes, whatever we're deeply committed to is our big dream. And we have a hard time thinking small on it. We have a hard time doing the small, committed, persistent, and redundant things every single day because we feel like we're not seeing the big dream. And this really taught us to take the extraordinary dream and the life we're living every day and just do it one day at a time and one small thought at a time. And that challenged me too. So if you guys are on here from the book club, right now we're just talking about what jumped out to you in each of the chapters. And I liked the Mr. Rogers analogy. I also liked the 20-mile march. That was cool. It was all about the 20-mile march. What is your 20-mile march? What is going to be your consistent movement that you're going to try to do to reach your big dream? So again, your big dream's written in small, but how are you going to think small? And that's what's in here that's large. So what is that consistent movement that you're going to do? Your 20-mile march. What is it? And I liked that. I loved that part of that. That was kind of cool. It talked a little bit under the 20-mile march that it's all about discipline, a consistent pattern, consistent routine, and that helped. That helped too. So anybody here from the HB Book Club, if you are, I would like you to chat over here on the side and say, hey, I am here. Just give me a thumbs up because eventually I'm going to teach you all how to get on to Google Hangouts so we can do this together. It's not hard. It's super simple. I sent Heather, if you're here and I am not connecting to you, also give me a little hello on the side of the chat there. And it's not hard to get on here. If you're looking to join the book club, there's tons of us on our Facebook page. And it's really intimidating to get here live. That's kind of a hard thing, but and you guys are from all over. So I'm hoping if you're interested, go ahead and let me know your Gmail so I can get you connected and we have more chatters here for our February read. But I'm going to be faithful and I'm going to be committed right now. And I'm finishing this book and just discussing it with you. I know a lot of you said they're going to listen to my review after. So that's kind of what's going on right now for those that are viewing. I'm just kind of doing it on my own, my review, and wrapping it up. So another thing that jumped out to me was on page 89. I wrote that down too. And this book taught us the importance of having a dialogue with your soul. Now, I started that. I have read so many books on journaling, and I am definitely a journaler. I'm one that likes to get up, and I have notebooks, I think, all over this office. If you were to look on my shelves, I have notebooks everywhere, but I do have my journal here. And this taught me, this book, to really watch for the wandering heart. There was a whole section on the wandering heart. And I'm telling you that was huge because I tend to dream big, and that's kind of in big print in my life. And think small is in little print the way that I go about it. This really taught me that makes your heart wander. When you're dreaming so big, your heart begins to wander. And this really taught me to dialogue with my soul and really zoom things down on a daily basis. So it actually told me to ask daily, every single day, how is your heart? Ask for God's provision with the certain big goals that you have, but wait till he provides for them. So, you know, he's opening the door for you to go to the next level. And many times we're just jumping ahead of God. I am guilty of that, totally guilty of that. So in whatever area, and again, dreaming big you could be dreaming for your finances, for your marriage, your relationships, a job, a position, something you're going to school for. I mean, he taught you all of the areas that you dream big. And I think everybody should be dreaming big. But often we are dreaming big, but not even learning how to think about it. And this book helped you totally process that. So if you have not read, again, listen to this whole book review and go. It's definitely a good book. Remember, I rated this a 5, not a 7, a 5, just because there was a lot of thinking afterwards. It wasn't a book that I kind of got lost in and listened to faith stories and was motivated that way. It was a workbook. It was definitely things that I had to do, and it was set up like that. So it was just different. Number 10, I liked the analogy of when nobody is watching and there's no applause, that is when you are actually dreaming big because you're thinking small. You're not looking at the applause. And sometimes with social media and everybody's posts and everything out there. And I'm definitely into social media. We can get lost in the applause. We can get lost in, is my dream really mattering? Is what I feel on my heart, is that really mattering to anybody? And we have to be careful with that, because I love the analogy. There was an analogy on here for Weight Watchers, and I forgot what page it was on, but often when you're losing weight and you're taking your steps to your goal in Weight Watchers, you're doing small things. You have a big dream, but you have to think small. Your portions have to become smaller. Things have to become smaller. And that really, you're not getting an applause in the kitchen when you're by yourself deciding what you're going to eat for your next meal and counting up your points. And so the same thing happens with our dreams, our goals, our motivation is you have to think small every single day. And those days that you're thinking small, you may not have a huge applause. And that's important. That goes with parenting. There's days we struggle in parenting and nobody's applauding you as a mom and as a wife and as a housekeeper, but it's the little routine, the same thing over and over and over again that will pay off later with our kids, and it will pay off later in our marriage. And that book, this book definitely explained that very, very well. It did a whole chapter on when nobody is watching. It talks in here on page 211 that I underline this. Your greatest movement will be measured over the course of months and years, not over the course of a few days or even a few months. And so whatever your gift is, whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, let's say it's working on our marriage. I mean, honestly, that can be a dream. That was mine about 10 years ago when my marriage was struggling. And I love this because I remember a mentor telling me to think small every single day. Don't dream about how big you want your marriage and compare it to everybody else. Think small every single day. And I will never forget this. I would have wrote this in this book. It aligned to this book. She said, my mentor said, even if you have to make a small plate of spaghetti and serve it to your husband at a time where you guys are arguing, do something small every single day and serve him. And that was really, really hard. She specifically said, do something small. Even though your hopes are really big, your dreams are really big, your anticipations are really big, do the small thing every single day. And that is absolutely huge. That paid off. And so this book taught you the same thing, even with our health emotionally. Sometimes as women, we struggle with a lot of emotions, and we're to focus on a couple small things every single day, not the big picture. The book zoomed in on that too, and I liked that. It's those small movements that grow over the course of months. It's not just in a few days. So that jumped out in here, and those were my highlights. Now, I only gave 5 because I anticipated, again, Heather was supposed to be on here and about 4 others, and you guys told me at the last minute you couldn't make it, which I totally get. It's okay. But I didn't want to have a whole list of my reviews because I was giving time for other people to give their reviews. So if you're just jumping on now and you missed my reviews, you can play this back because it'll be there for you. But that's it. I definitely enjoyed the book. I definitely have lots of highlighter moments, lots of circling. How did I get my reading in? I know that a lot of people are saying, how do you get your reading in? I'm running all over. I'm doing this. I set a timer on my phone to read for 18 minutes every single day. So that's pretty much what I do. Whether it's in the morning or at night, I just set a timer and I'm like, girls, I'm going to read. And I get my reading in and I like it. And I've been motivated. So whatever jumped out to me that day, like for example, on page 33, I remember this was huge. And I actually knew it says, big dreams are only powerful when anchored in daily discipline. Dream big and think small. Be faithful in the ordinary again and again and again and again, and trust God to work in the extraordinary ways if and when he chooses. And I loved that. I circled that. If and when he chooses. That was like, whoa, he doesn't have to choose to do this for me today. And that was kind of an eye-opening because it says after that, you commit yourselves to acts of daily service, and whatever you're dreaming big about, you are going to commit to think small every day, regardless if you're getting the applause, regardless of what you feel where you should be. And that really spoke to me that day, that sometimes you just take a back seat when you're trying to stay consistent and dreaming big. So you have to be passionate about your longevity, passionate about what takes time. And this whole chapter was that. Raising children. Be passionate about those teenagers, and it's going to take time. And I think that's huge too, that it's just doing the one thing that you need to do. If it's if it's giving a compliment to your teenager kids when you barely can get a compliment off of your tongue. I remember a wise Christian counselor told me that every single day, I want you to compliment all of your teenagers, even if they don't deserve the compliment. I want you to do that every single day as a routine, and you will see where this takes you. It doesn't make sense because you want to spew everything that you don't want to say out because you're angry, but I want you to get in the consistency of doing that. And that was hard for me. That was more like I was dreaming big on how I wanted my kids to be, but I needed to take the small steps and not look at that. So this book brought a lot of those illustrations in. It really aligned up with Christian counselors that I've had to talk to in my past. It has lined up. The book's definitely lined up. So if you're going at things really hard right now and, you know, reality is biting hard, honestly, or you've got betrayal going on in your life, this book's going to help you slow down and take bite-sized pieces. And I highly recommend it for that reason. Definitely will slow your heart down, slow your anxiety down, bring peace to your day, regardless of where you're at. So if you have not, if you missed reading this for the January book club, it's a small read. Look, you can do it. And if I'm only doing 18 pages, 18 minutes a day in here, I got this done actually pretty quick. This was a small read. So go for it. Jeff Minion was an excellent author. He's also a pastor here in Grand Rapids, and I'm from Michigan, so he's not far from us. And he learned how to work with his team using this book. So it's a definite great team builder book. And that's my review on this book. So it's simple and sweet. Go back and play through. But right now I want to introduce you guys to, and I have my phone here somewhere. I'm just going to read it. I want to introduce everyone. And of course, we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be playing this back. I would like to highlight the February book. Mine is in the mail right now, but we are going to be reading Lioness Arising by Lisa Bevere. And Lisa Bevere is awesome. She is a powerful, strong woman of the Lord. I'm telling you, this girl carries her sword every day. Just amazing. So she is doing this book is called, it's about waking up and changing your world in your house, with your family, in your work, in your job place. I mean, at the bus stop, wherever you're at, whatever season you're at in your life, Lioness Arising is for you. And so I'm just going to read the clip. We're going to start this book. Like, I'm starting immediately. Mine should be in actually tomorrow. Amazon notified me. And we will be on here to chat. I have a feeling this is going to be a great chat. Again, we're growing in this book club. I will be here regardless if there's no chatters that show up. I am here because, again, I know that you guys will rewatch these. I know that there's viewers on here. So it's good. And I'm hoping to train and teach you guys how to all get on Google Hangouts, because actually at the bottom of the screen right here, we would see a list of heads and we'd all be chatting right now. And I'm excited for that. So my big dream is to see at least 5 chatters on there. And I also know that I have to think small, and that means you have to be consistent in the small things. So I'm going for it. It was always my dream to kind of have a cool book club, and we're going for it. So Lioness Arising, here's what it is about, girlfriends. It says, the lioness arises from her slumber, a magnificent image of strength, passion, and beauty. Her mere presence commands the landscape, protects her young, and empowers the lion. In groups, lionesses act as one to become a creative and strategic force to be reckoned with. In Lioness Arising, Lisa offers the life and the image of a lioness as fierce and tender. The life and image of the lioness as a fierce and tender model for women to wake up, rise up, and change the world. Become a stunning representation of strength. Learn to fiercely protect the young and those around you. Lend your voice to be silenced. Live the light and hunt in the dark. I like that. And raise a collective roar that changes everything. And so as women, when are we to raise our collective roar? And when are we to roar? And how do we roar? With a godly voice. And so I'm definitely excited. You can watch the trailer about this book on Amazon. If you want to hear more from Lisa, you can do that. But it's about waking up and changing the world and being a strong woman in Christ. And so it's going to be nice to listen to you chatters here and talking about the season of lives and how this book helped you stand up. So I'm going to have real specific questions, and I'm going to probably be vulnerable in my review and what's going on in my life when we do this review. So again, the book chat is here. This is kind of like a small community group Bible study, but we're doing it online and for an hour of our time once a month. So how fun is that? Anyway, thanks for joining tonight. It was simple. It was sweet. I hope I did a good job. If you enjoyed just listening to my reviews, leave me a comment over on the side. Leave me a comment that you read this later. Let me know who read the book for this month, though. I want to know who did Dream Big, Think Small. Even if you got a few pages in, let me know. Let me know what jumped out. If you only got a few chapters in, what jumped out to you? Heather, I know we were supposed to join. If I did something wrong, I'm still learning and growing. And also, any of you ladies that are connected already on the Facebook page that are in this book club, if you're used to using Google Hangouts a lot and jumping in through YouTube, and you have something else that you want to share with me, some sort of wisdom, please hit me up on the Facebook page so we can be ready for our next chat, which will be the last Thursday in February at the same time at 8 o'clock. So happy reading, enjoy Lioness Arising, and I will see all of you guys in the next chat. Talk to you later. Bye.